Good morning, students. The previous class we have seen about the lesson on the rule of the road from the 6th prose, right? Okay. Today's class we are going to see the remaining paragraph from this lesson, right? Okay. So let us move on to the lesson on the rule of the road written by A.J. Gardiner, right? Okay. Can you tell the heading once again? On the rule of the road written by A.J. Gardiner, Alfred George Gardiner, right? So in this lesson we are going to see some rules and regulations which we have to follow, right? So what is the reason we have to follow the rules and regulation? Because in the society when it comes, it should be the society has to go in a smooth and proper way, right? It should not be have any confusions there. So for that reason we have our own liberty is there, but how we should follow that liberty is rules is there for that, right? Okay, so that only we have seen with some examples. That first we have situation we have seen with the stout old lady. She is walking on the street, we have seen, and the people when they say to her what she said, she is telling them, I am going to walk where I like. We have got liberty now. This is the word she says. And so if all the individual person goes on their own liberty, there will be a universal choice, right? Okay. In the second paragraph we have seen about in the Piccadilly Circus, if the people is there is a four roads joining in one place, there will be a traffic policeman and he has to control all these things in a proper way, right? If each and everyone goes according to their own way, there will be a universal choice. There will be a confusions in that. So what we have to do is we have to cut short our liberty, personal liberty. This is the thing we have seen in the second paragraph, right? Now let us move on to the third one. Take your textbook, page number 178, and let us go on to that, right? Liberty is not a personal affair only, but a social contract. So liberty, when we go, it doesn't mean only about the personal, it goes on the socials. In the society commitment also we have. So contract means it is a commitment. So you have a lot of commitment in the society, right? So what you have to do, you have to cut short your own personal liberty for that. It is an accommodation of interest in matters which do not touch anybody else's liberty. Of course, I may be free as I like. If I choose to go down the road in a dressing gown, who shall say me nay? Nay means no, right? Underline and write no. So you have liberty to laugh at me, but I have liberty to be indifferent to you. And if I have a fancy for dyeing my hair or waxing my mustache, which heaven forbid, or wearing an overcoat and sandals, or going to bed late or getting up early, I shall follow my fancy and ask no man's permission. I shall not inquire of you whether I may eat mustard with my mutton, and you will not ask me whether you may follow this religion or that, whether you may prefer Ella Wheeler Wilcox or 2 Wordsworth or campaign to Shandy. In all these and 1,000 other details, you and I place ourselves and has no one's leave. So in this paragraph, we are going to see about that another many situations, right? So now you can imagine that you can be however you want, right? Like that if you say, and if you go down in the road with your dressing gown, so the night dress or night dressing gowns you have which you wear inside your personal room, right? So that dress if you are wearing, and if you go to the street, what will happen? Can you imagine? So you can say that it is my own wish, my dress, my what can others do with that? Like that if you say, and if you go into the street, what the other people has that? They have the rights to laugh at you. You cannot blame them, right? So if they laugh also, you should not bother about that. So if that is your wish. If you go in your dress, whichever you like, the other people have the rights to laugh at you. So this is what is happening in the society, right? So you will say, it is my wish, it is my uniform, it is my school. However, I can come. If you say, what will happen? The other people have the rights to laugh at you. They have the rights to tease you. So that is their own wish, their own individual freedom, right? Okay, so like this, if you go for the other one example also, if you have the fancy for dyeing my hair, so if fancy means it is a very great desire, right? So you have your own wish to have your hair in color, and mustache, that is if you wanted to have some waxing in your mustache, even the God will forgive. That is the God, heaven forbid also. What will happen? It is your wish, you can do it. Or wearing an overcoat and sandals. So you have the combination of dress code, right? So when you wear that overcoat, that is the which is British, the people has to wear, they will be wearing, right, a formal dress for that coat, overcoat. If you are wearing a overcoat, and what the sandals you will be using a very tip-top shoes, right? So whether you will be wearing sandals, a slipper, for wearing a coat and slippers, whether anyone will wear? No, right? You won't have that combinations. It will looks very ugly. So it is your wish. If you wear a coat and if you wear the sandals, it is your own wish. Or going to bed late or getting up early, I shall follow my fancy and ask no man's permissions. This is all your liberty. If you wanted to go to bed early, you can go. That doesn't matter. So it is not going to disturb anyone. If you wanted to get up early in the morning, you can get up. And this all the things, it is not going to disturb anyone. It is your own. You are not going to ask permission to anyone. Right? Whether you will ask a permission to, shall I go to bed very early, like that, you will never ask to anyone. It is your own liberty. And I shall inquire whether I may eat mustard with my mutton. So you might prepare some delicious food, everything, right? So mutton or chicken, when you prepare, whether you will be using the mustard. Mustard, what is that? Kadugu, right? So when you wanted to use all these things, combinations, usually they will never prepare. When they wanted to prepare mutton or chicken, they will never put the mustard there, right? So this is the usual way of preparing. So if you wanted to have changes, if you wanted to put mustard, nobody is going to ask. If it is your taste, you can prepare. If you wanted to put more chili on that, you can prepare. That doesn't matter, right? So it is your own personal liberty. And if you wanted to have some other religion, nobody will ask you. If you wanted to follow this religion, you can go and follow that. Or other religions you wanted to follow, you can follow that. That is your own individual liberty. Which you like, you can follow. Or if you prefer to read some writer, that is Ella Wheeler Wilcox is a writer. You prefer that writer, it is your own wish, right? It is, nobody is going to compel you that. You have to go and read only Wordsworth, like that. Nobody is going to compel. It is your wish, your taste of reading, right? Champagne to shandy, that is nobody is going to compel you to have the shandy. Shandy means what? Alcohol with the mixing with the lemon, right? So that nobody is going to have compelling you with the champagne. You should have with the grapes and alcohol mixed together. One is called champagne, and other one is with the shandy is lemonade and alcohol, beer, right? With this will be called as a shandy. So nobody is going to ask which you like to follow, whether this one you have to drink or that you have to drink, like that. Nobody is going to compel anything, right? So what you have to do, it is all depends on you. And all this and 1,000 other details, you and I place ourselves as no one's leave. So even in this all the situations, you have your own wish, right? Your own freedom. You can use mustard and mutton, or if you can use lemonade, or if you want to read some other writer, that is Wordsworth, you wanted to have, you can follow. It doesn't matter which one you like. So these all the things comes in your personal liberty. You can have all this. You can come in a nightgown in the street also. You can come, but the other people, if they laugh, you cannot blame them. That is their own liberty. Right? This is what is given in the next paragraph. Clear? Are you clear about this one? Okay. Let us move on to the next one. We have a whole kingdom in which we rule alone, can do what we choose, be wise or ridiculous, harsh or easy, conventional or odd. So when it is goes on your own whole kingdom, your own place, when you are the person to rule that circle, right, your own kingdom, when you can choose which is good, which is very ridiculous, means which is comical, you can choose, or which is very harsh, or which is easy, or conventional means normal or odd one. So which one you wanted to choose, you can choose when it is your own kingdom, your own circle, your own house, your own place, right? So like this times you can choose your own wish. But when we step out of that kingdom, our personal liberty of action becomes qualified by other people's liberty. So when it is your own place, in your own circle, your own kingdom, you can have all those things. But when it is steps onto the outside of the kingdom, when you come, what will happen? Your own personal liberty will be qualified by the others, right? The others will be looking into you. The society will be looking into you. There will be a lot of changes because of you. So what you have to do? You have to have control in your own liberty. And I might like to practice on the trombone from midnight till the 3 in the morning. So trombone means it is a musical beatings, right? So you like to have your musical sounds and musical practice till the autumn. It is your own time, midnight till 3 in the morning you can have it, right? So if you wanted to go for the practice of the trombone, what you can do? If I went on to the top of Everest to do it, so if you wanted to practice a trombone, if it is making much noise, if you wanted to go to the Everest and do the practice, what will happen? It is not going to hurt anyone. I could please myself, but if I do it in my bedroom, my family will object, and if I do it out in the streets, the neighbors will remind me that my liberty to blow the trombone must not interfere with their liberty to sleep in quiet. So what is that? If the person wanted to have a practice midnight till the morning 3 o'clock, if you wanted to practice, what he can go? He can go to Everest and practice. Nobody will be questioning. But if he is going to practice in his own room, what the roommates, family members, they will do? They will object. They will say no towards that because it will be irritating for them. They wanted a peace of mind. So they will say no towards that. And if it is going and doing in the street, if he is playing the music, what will happen? The street members, everybody, they will blame him, they will shout at him, they will tell that they have the liberty to sleep peace, right? So what we have to do, we should not disturb the others. They have the liberty to sleep, right? If you have the liberty to play the drums, you cannot go and play in the room. Your family members will object. If you have the liberty to play on the street, what will happen? The street members will say they have the liberty to sleep well. So you should not disturb them. If you wanted to have, you can go to Everest or some other place where you are alone. There you can go and have all these things, right? So the personal liberty should not disturb the society, right? There are a lot of people in the world and I have accommodated my liberty to their liberties. So now the people, many people are there in the world. So we have to accommodate. Accommodate means you have to fit with that. You have to adjust with that. So like this you have to fix with the society because your liberty should be cut shorter. We are all liable to forget this, and unfortunately we are much more conscious of the imperfections of others in this respect than of our own. A reasonable consideration for the rights or feelings of others is the foundation of social conduct. It is in the small matter of conduct, in the observance of the rules of the road, that we pass judgment upon ourselves and declare that we are civilized or uncivilized. The great moments of heroism and sacrifice are rare. It is the little habits of commonplace intercourse that make up the great sum of life and sweeten or make bitter the journey. So this is what he is going to say. So at the conclusion he is going to tell that we all depending on the other society, right? So when the society wants to go in a proper way, the society will be looking into your very deep, your activities, your liberties, right? So what you have to do, if you wanted to prove that you are a civilized or uncivilized person, right? When you wanted to declare that you are a civilized person, your attitude should be, individual liberty should be proper. right? If you are following that other one, that is your liberty, you are not following it properly, you are ready to do whatever you wish in the society, they will be concluding you that you are uncivilized person, right? So the society is watching always to show your proper way, your greatness, your genuinity. When you wanted to show in the society, what you have to do, you have to cut short your liberty. So the society will confirm and they will say you that you are a civilized person. They will make you as a heroism. So now by this we are going to conclude what is that means. What is that? If you behave properly in the society, if you cut short your liberty, the society will say that you are a civilized person. So now with this you can imagine that are you a civilized person or not, right? So if you are not a civilized person, your attitudes, how it will be shows, it will shows that you are not cut short your liberty, right? So when you go on in a proper way, your habits is going in the proper way in the common place, that your life will become a sweeten and it will make a bitter. That journey which goes in a bitter way also, it is in your hand, right? So the sweetening your life or bitter way in your life, everything it depends on yourself. There is a good or bad, it is in your hand. So when you wanted to show you are a civilized person, cut short your personal liberty, and if you are wanted to behave as you wanted, what the society will say you, it will say that you are uncivilized person. So this is the lesson, it is completed with this on the rule of the road. You have to follow some rules, that is your personal rules, you have to follow in the society, right? So when you cut short, the society will be happy. So this is the lesson on the rule of the road. So follow the rules and regulation in a proper way to make the society happy and healthy, right? So this lesson gets over. Go for reading the glossary. There is a lot of words are there: confusion, mess, peril, risk, pedestrians, person who walk on the streets, chose, confusion, anarchy, lawlessness, rebellion, or next one, preserve, maintained, curtailed means reduced, tyranny, autocracy, insolence, rudeness, interfere, hinder, contract, commitment, indifferent, unconcerned, fancy, desire, shanty, lemonade, ridiculous, comical, conventional, normal, accommodate, fit in with, consideration, scrutiny. So this is the meanings from the glossary have completed. Go for reading and go for the next question answers from your guide. Okay. Thank you, students. Let us meet in the next class. Thank you.